Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today, I was planning to make a Pac-12 North predictions first, but then I got this video suggestion, so I was on Discord, so I was gonna do it. So, the SEC predictions, SEC West and East, so I divided them using this little line here, on slideshow to make this possible, and slideshow PowerPoint to make this possible. So let's start. Okay, let's get the easy teams out of the way first. Alabama, most dominant team, easily gonna win. Is the easy favorite to win. Even though they bring a new quarterback, Bryce Young, and are losing players such as Devonta Smith and Jalen Waddle. They have the best recruiting. They have the best recruiting. They have the best returning roster. They have the best everything really. So first place, SEC West. Then Georgia, 11-1. They have a really good returning cast, including quarterback JT Daniels, probably a front runner for the Heisman. He is going to be really good for the Bulldogs. Should be SEC East winner, especially since compared to the West, the East isn't as that strong. Like compared to the SEC West, the East isn't as strong. But it's still good somewhat. The only loss Georgia is going to be to Clemson week 1. That is the thing that screws them over later, because then you have Bama, lose to Bama in a SEC championship, play in a bowl game, have your seniors opt out of that bowl, etc. Bowl game, etc. Okay. Then Vanderbilt, 2-10, worst team. The funny thing is Vanderbilt recruits well enough to not be 0-12 every year, but since the SEC is just the SEC, they would need to be top 10 recruiting every year just to have the chance to go 6-6. So yeah, Vanderbilt 2-10. Mississippi State, Will Rogers as a freshman is doing okay. I could say he's doing pretty good. Costello busted hard. He busted even before going to the NFL draft, which he's now not going to be drafted next year, which is an L for him. Mike Leach still is trying to rebuild his program. Not going to be a good year for the Bulldogs, 4-8. Next team, Texas A&M, 11-1. They lose Mon, but they're bringing in sophomore Haynes King, so they're still going to be and they still have their power running back. I forgot his name, but he's going to be really good. Maybe a contender for the Doc Walker Award. But anyway, Texas A&M, Jimbo Fisher's doing really good at that program. 11-1, only lost to you-know-who, Alabama. Florida 9-3. They lose a lot of players. They're bringing in freshman Emory Jones as their quarterback. Nonetheless, they're losing Kyle Trask. They're losing Kyle Pitts. Remember, they're losing 4 of their wide receivers. I can't remember their names, but I remember they're losing 4 wide receivers. So Florida's losing a lot. They're not dipping into rebuild mode yet, but they're going to take a down step from last season. 9-3 for this roster. LSU 10-2. Probably had the worst defending champion season, other than, well, technically Auburn was a year removed already, but Auburn from 2012 was probably the worst view of a champion that they had back when they were champs in 2010. But LSU had the worst. They basically went from first to worst, even though they weren't like the worst program. Obviously, they went from first to worst, if you understand what I meant with that. But nonetheless, LSU has the 3rd best recruiting class. They have Max Johnson at quarterback, who shows signs of potential. Then I said they bring in a lot of freshmen, including they also have BJ Ujulari on the roster, pretty good defensive end. I think they have Thibodeau. Oh no, never mind. Like that name. Sorry for that. Like, he's on Oregon, but that name sounds like a Louisiana name. So if he was from Louisiana, I guess makes sense. Or his parents are Louisiana descent. Anyway, back to what this video is about. LSU has the 3rd best recruiting class in the nation. So they're gonna be real. They could be really good for the next 3 or 4 years. for this program. Ed Ogeron should be able to lift this program once again. And LSU 10-2 lost to A&M and Bama. Missouri 8-4. I'm high on this Missouri team. I don't really know why, but with the East that's looking after Georgia and Florida, they're bad, especially since Tennessee basically got caught for putting money in McDonald's bags to recruits, which is that was a mega L. That was probably a bigger L than the ASU incident, because ASU's Arizona State's was actually like, okay, well, they did something like okay, this was illegal, but I mean, at least they did something properly. Meanwhile, Tennessee just downright embarrassing that they have to put money in recruits bags, McDonald recruits bags. Anyway, hi, Missouri. They have a pretty good class. I'm pretty sure their class is better than Kentucky's, South Carolina's, and of course Vanderbilt's. Vanderbilt like 50, I think, exactly, to say the least, and Missouri's like 34, I think. Kentucky's like 38 something. Anyway, Missouri, I think they can be good. However, with the measly East, it's hard to say anything about them. Ole Miss 8-4. It's a rough West, man. I mean, Ole Miss, they're gonna have. Matt Corral is going to be really good. Trust me on that. Matt Corral is going to be really, really good. But can he lead them past LSU, A&M, or even Bama? I don't think so. 8-4 is my predictions for them. So I have them losing to the first three, and then I'm trying to remember who else I had them losing to. I'm trying to remember. Not really sure though. But Ole Miss, 8-4 team, should get a good tier bowl and get ranked. That's what I expect. Kentucky 6-6. Well, again, the East is going to be hard to say anything. Kentucky and Tennessee. I'm going to mention Tennessee here. Kentucky and Tennessee are really benefiting. Well, actually, everyone from Kentucky to Vanderbilt here is benefiting from having somewhat easy out of conference schedule. For example, South Carolina gets Eastern Illinois and ECU. Tennessee gets Tennessee Tech and Pitt. Kentucky, I think they got Eastern Kentucky and someone else, I don't remember who. Vanderbilt gets UConn and another FCS school, I don't remember. But anyhow, then Arkansas 7-5. This team's on a rise. Arkansas is on a rise. They're not going to beat Texas. They're not going to beat Bama. They're not going to beat A&M anytime soon. But Arkansas, I could see them being real good in the future. They almost beat Georgia last year. Granted, that was when Stetson Bennett was a starter, but nonetheless, they almost beat Georgia. They beat Miss State. I think they beat Ole Miss. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. But Arkansas did really good last year, considering that it was an all-SEC schedule and they were predicted to go winless. And they're going to be really good. Auburn at 6-6. My bad. Auburn at 6-6. Here's the thing with Auburn. You chose Bo Nix over Malik Willis. You chose Bo Nix over Malik Willis. And I'm pretty sure that Auburn brought a transfer from LSU, but if they do not pick that transfer from LSU over Bo Nix, they're in trouble, because Bo Nix sucks, and they don't really have any big name on the offense after that, and that's the bad point, because Bo Nix is bad. And it showed last year. I still don't know how he upset Alabama. Like, he played amazing against Alabama, and then he just fell. Like, they fell into a basement after that. Auburn has a really easy out-of-conference schedule. Their hardest team there is Penn State, which I think is going to be a win. I think they sweep. I think they go 4-0 out-of-conference schedule, and just 2-6 in conference play. Bad year for Auburn. Rebuild team, really. Tennessee. Three sentences describe this program. McDonald's bag, money in McDonald's bags, recruits leaving, having a quarterback who isn't a quarterback on the team, as you can see by Jared Guarantano, who is awful. Well, he left the program already, but just to reference, if Arch Manning commits to Tennessee, he can kiss his career goodbye. Really. South Carolina 4-8. Their highlights of their season are going to be the wins against Eastern Illinois and ECU, is all I'm going to say. Then the bottom feeders, I already talked about them previously. So, yeah, thank you for watching this video. These are my standings, Pac-12 North standings coming tomorrow. And then I might do the other conferences. So, thank you for watching. I'll see you very soon.